Have you ever fallen in love at first sight? Or felt your heart race just at the sight of someone special? This is the story of Claire, a determined young woman who owns a charming flower shop, and Luke, a mysterious man who gradually becomes the center of her world. Between flowers, smiles, and a lot of courage, Claire shows us that true love is worth every effort. Let's go. Claire felt her heart beating so hard that it seemed as if everyone in the flower shop could hear it. All this happened suddenly, just after she saw a charming man enter the store. She was surprised by the feeling that came over her so quickly. That man began to frequent the store regularly, always buying flowers. Every time he came in, Claire felt the same whirlwind of emotions. She watched his movements carefully, the way he chose the flowers with care, and the kind smile he always offered. As time passed, Claire began to notice every detail about him. His green eyes sparkled in a special way, and his perfume mingled with the scent of the flowers, creating a magical atmosphere. She felt a warmth on her face and a chill in her stomach every time he was near. He was tall and looked very important. His fancy clothes and serious look were very different from the quiet atmosphere around him. One day when he was shopping for flowers at that flower shop, he noticed that Claire was looking at him. "Hi, good morning. I wanted a special bouquet for a friend. Something very elegant and chic." Claire, still surprised by the impact he had made, could see up close the most beautiful green eyes she had ever seen, accompanied by a beautiful but shy smile. Claire stood completely still, as if enchanted. She wanted to run into the arms of that man, who looked like a Greek god, and ask for the sweetest kisses. But she knew she couldn't do that. So she concentrated and remembered to be professional. "Good morning. I'll pick the most beautiful flowers for you," said Claire, trying to ignore the heat rising in her face. With slightly trembling hands, she began to select the flowers. As she assembled the bouquet, her eyes couldn't help but watch him. His eyes were so intense green that they looked like emeralds. He had a perfume that blended harmoniously with the scent of the flowers, making his presence even more striking. "Here you are," said Claire, handing him the bouquet. "I hope you like it. It's perfect." "Thank you very much. What's your name?" he asked, as he reached for his wallet to pay. "Claire. And your name?" she asked with a smile. "Luke Adams," he replied, handing over the money. "It was nice to meet you, Claire." As Luke left the flower shop, Claire felt a rush of emotions. Her heart was racing, a mixture of excitement and frustration that she couldn't explain. Something about that man, with his green eyes and striking presence, had awakened a deep feeling inside her. Over the next few days, Claire couldn't get Luke out of her mind. Every time she looked at the flowers, she remembered the moment their eyes met. It was as if his perfume was still in the air, mixing with the scent of the flowers and distracting her. Every bouquet she put together, every customer she served, brought back Luke's image and the inexplicable feeling he had abandoned. She tried unsuccessfully to forget Luke Adams. Every bouquet she made, every flower she touched, brought back memories of those encounters. An intense longing took hold of her heart. She dreamt that she was in his arms and that he loved her dearly. The dreams were constant, and she began to think that something was wrong with her mind. After all, it wasn't normal to fall in love like this with someone she barely knew. Claire tried to interest herself in other boys, but everything reminded her of Luke walking into the flower shop, his beauty mesmerizing her. Determined to see him again, Claire decided to create her own opportunities. She started going to the places he used to go, like the cafe on the corner where he always had his morning espresso. Sitting in the cafe, discreetly watching Luke go about his routine, Claire felt her heart beat faster, full of hope and excitement for every chance encounter he managed to provoke. Every time Claire saw Luke, her heart filled with hope, but he didn't seem to notice her attempts to get closer. Despite all her efforts to get his attention, Luke just looked at her, gave her a polite smile and moved on. Tired of not getting what she wanted, Claire decided to be more daring. One afternoon, she put on her best clothes, carefully fixed her hair and went to Luke's office, carrying a bouquet of flowers as a pretext. Determined, she knew it was time to do something different and really make a name for herself. "Mr. Adams, I brought these flowers to brighten your day," said Claire, entering the office with a nervous smile. Luke looked up from his papers, clearly surprised by the unexpected visit. He found it curious to see the girl from the flower shop there, delivering flowers without him having ordered anything. Luke thought it was just a marketing strategy by the flower shop and accepted the gift with a smile. "What a pleasant surprise. Thank you very much for the flowers. They're beautiful." Despite her thanks, Claire felt that something was still missing. Frustration grew inside her with every meeting that came to nothing. Luke was always polite and kind, but he kept a distance that Claire couldn't overcome. As time went by, Claire's love for Luke only grew. The idea of still not expressing her feelings clearly and directly was unbearable for her. One evening, after closing the flower shop, Claire decided that she needed to be honest with herself and confess her feelings to Luke. She knew she couldn't move on without letting him know how much he really meant to her. If it didn't work out, at least she had tried and wouldn't be trapped in the dream of a relationship with him. Determined, Claire picked up a bouquet of her favorite flowers and went to Luke's office one more time, even though she knew it might be too late and he'd already left. When she arrived at the company, she saw that his secretary had already left, but the light in Luke's office was still on and the door was only partially open. "Luke," said Claire when she found him still in the office. "I need to talk to you." He was surprised to see her there, especially so late. What happened?" he asked, puzzled. Claire took a deep breath, summoning up all the courage she had. "I can't hide my feelings for you any longer. From the moment I met you, something changed inside me. I can't eat properly, I don't sleep well, and it feels like I'm not really living. I'm completely in love," Claire confessed, her voice trembling. "I know it may sound crazy, but I had to tell you." She sighed deeply, relieved to finally express what had been tormenting her for days. "I want to be by your side. Please give me a chance to show you how much you mean to me. Let me be a part of your life." "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that," said Claire, turning to leave. "Wait," Luke called softly. "Don't just walk away. You deserve a straight answer." Claire stopped, her heart beating fast with hope and fear. "I respect your courage and your feelings," Luke said. "But right now, I'm not ready for a relationship. My life is complicated, and I don't want to hurt you," Luke said, his words sharp but sincere. Claire felt a pang in her heart, but she knew he was being honest. She nodded slowly, forcing a smile. "I understand, Luke. Thank you for being honest with me." As she left, head down and steps heavy, Claire knew that nothing would ever be the same. Every flower in the store, every bouquet she put together, would be a reminder of the love she couldn't have. What would she do now with these deep, unrequited feelings? Until that day, Luke had barely noticed Claire. To him, she was just the kind flower girl on the corner. However, after Claire's declaration of love, Luke began to pay more attention to her. At first, he turned her down because he didn't want to get involved with anyone. But as the days went by, he couldn't forget her tear-filled eyes, her charming face and her trembling hands in front of him. Luke realized that Claire was not only beautiful, but also very interesting. Driven by curiosity to get to know her better, he began to pass by the flower shop frequently, without her noticing. He watched her from outside the store, seeing her come in, carefully arrange the flowers and smile at the customers. Sometimes he would follow her as she left and noticed that she always went home alone. As the days went by, Luke's interest in Claire grew more and more. He couldn't forget the moments when she stood in front of him, her eyes full of emotion and her hands trembling. With each observation, he began to change his mind and feelings every time he thought of her. My friends, sometimes love just needs a chance to blossom. Luke initially refused Claire's love because he didn't know her well. But after she declared herself, he began to pay more attention to her and liked what he saw. Yes, he realized that he could give them both a chance, and that's exactly what he did. One morning, while he was arranging the flowers in the window, the doorbell rang. Claire looked up and her heart raced when she saw Luke standing there, holding a bouquet. "Luke!" she exclaimed in surprise. "Hello, Claire," he replied, with a smile he couldn't hide. "I've been doing a lot of thinking since that night. You've made me realize what an incredible woman you are and that I can't pass up the chance to make love to you." He held out the bouquet to her, and for a brief moment, their hands touched, sending a shiver of excitement through Claire's whole body. "Claire," Luke said softly, "if you still want me, I want to be yours too. Give me a chance to show you how much you mean to me." Claire's eyes filled with tears of happiness as she held the flowers, feeling the weight of the words she had waited so long to hear. Her heart was racing, and a wave of joy washed over her. She smiled, her tears shining like stars. "Luke, you don't know how much these words mean to me. I've always wanted this." The moment was magical, full of emotion and hope. Claire knew that from that moment on, their lives would be intertwined in a way she had always dreamed of. She couldn't contain the joy in her heart, knowing that she had finally found the love she had longed for. "I want to, Luke. I want to be yours, today and always." And so, surrounded by flowers and promises, Claire and Luke began a new chapter in their lives. Every day became a new opportunity to love and be loved, showing everyone that it's always worth giving love a chance. In the beginning, their lives were filled with small gestures of affection and shared moments. Luke stopped by the flower shop every day, bringing Claire coffee and helping her arrange the flowers. They laughed together, shared stories and dreams, and slowly built up a deep and sincere connection. Claire, with her insight and determination, never gave up chasing Luke's love. She knew he was worth it, that every effort and every moment of waiting would be rewarded. Claire created opportunities, made herself present, and showed Luke, through small gestures and large displays of affection, that her love was true and unwavering. Her courage and perseverance paved the way for a love that many only find in their dreams. And so, between flowers and promises, Claire and Luke not only found love, but also the certainty that they were meant to be together. They showed everyone around them that true love exists and that it is worth fighting for. If you enjoyed this love story between Claire and Luke, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel. That way you won't miss any of our next exciting stories. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.